and this I consider the most important, relevance to real life. One area that I'm particularly passionate about today is advancing further this intersection of operation management, supply chain resilience, sustainability. Lessons that I learned is the importance of strategic foresight. How directors must anticipate market shifts, regulatory changes, technological disruptions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm Tane Aul, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with a distinguished authority in operations management and public policy. With over 4 decades of impactful work in academia, research, and the railway sector, he is currently a professor at IIM Calcutta and has significantly influenced supply chain dynamics and sustainable development. It's my honor to welcome Dr. Bodhibrata Nag to the podcast. Dr. Nag, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for your warm welcome, Mr. Tanay. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm so grateful to be on FaceTime with Leaders, wherein you showcase opinions of influential people. I think it's a great idea. And I can't wait to share my ideas and conversations about things I care deeply about.
The pleasure is all ours, sir. Sir, our first question for the day is leadership in academia is about guiding the next generation. As a leader in academic administration, how do you ensure that IIM Calcutta and other institutions remain at the forefront of innovation in operations management and continue producing top-tier talent for the industry?
Thank you for the question. It's true that leadership in education is all about raising and preparing the next generation. At IIM Calcutta, we always strive to create an atmosphere that encourages newer ideas, academic rigor, and very important, and this I consider the most important, relevance to real life. And this has been a theme that has been behind my entire academic journey, because my 21 years of work experience has guided my entire way of looking at things, looking at operational issues. And it has enabled me to connect theory with practice, given me hands-on information on areas like public policy, transportation, infrastructure management, which I use to improve my teaching, study, and leadership in academia. During my tenure, so I held a number of academic positions at IIM Calcutta. So I was the chairperson of doctoral programs and research. I was the dean and acting director at IIM Calcutta. During that period, I spearheaded several initiatives aimed at innovating management education. I also had the opportunity, which came through a challenge, of course, of digital transformation of our academic processes, which became especially critical during the COVID pandemic. It happened that I was the dean during the COVID pandemic. So I enabled a seamless transition to online platforms such that the quality of education does not get compromised. And the faculty are given all the aid and tools to deliver their lectures in a better way. This digital transformation also helped in another aspect, which is it gave new venues for innovative teaching methods, like using simulations and games in our teaching, so that children could apply their knowledge in a virtual yet highly practical environment. I was also fortunate to be involved in another significant initiative of IIM Calcutta, which is the launch of a visionary leadership in manufacturing program, which I designed and implemented in collaboration with my alma mater, IIT Madras, as well as IIT Kanpur, as well as industry leaders from both Japan and India. This was designed to produce top-tier talent, specifically tailored to India's manufacturing sector. And I'm happy to say that it's now running very strong, and it's now in its 15th year. Also, another thing that we do in IIM Calcutta is that we maintain very strong links with the industry through our executive education programs and consulting and collaborative research. And in this area, I am also very happy to say that I launched a program called the Advanced Program in Supply Chain Management. It was launched 12 years back and is still going strong, wherein what we do is that each edition gets revised again and again to incorporate the latest research and cutting-edge industry trends. I was also a member of several board committees of IIM Calcutta's Board of Governors. So I served, for example, in the Building and Works Committee, wherein I was involved in the campus development plan for accommodating the growth of IIM Calcutta over the next 25 years, as well as acquiring land from the state government for the second campus. So this experience was a great experience for me because it taught me the importance of rigorous planning and accountability in overseeing infrastructure projects. I was also involved in the Regulations Drafting Committee and the Code of Conduct Drafting Committee, wherein I drafted regulations for reinforcing ethical governance and ensuring transparency within the institution. So this led me to understand how critical it is to establish clear, robust guidelines to uphold integrity and ensuring that all stakeholders, faculty, students, our community at large, adhere to the highest standards of conduct. And it also highlighted the role of governance in creating a culture of trust and responsibility. I was also involved in the Digital Transformation Committee, wherein we used digital tools to enhance our operational efficiency and enhance decision-making, besides increasing transparency. And finally, I was also on the Financial Sustainability Committee, which gave me hands-on experience on strategic financial planning, risk assessment, resource optimization, all in the areas of academic administration. So I must say that, it's been a great experience working here at IIM Calcutta.
Quite a widespread workflow, sir, which I understand ranging. And it's lovely that you want to give back to students. That's enriching, sir. Sir, the mind is its own resource. As a professor of operations management, how do you guide students to leverage their cognitive abilities for complex problem solving in operations research and system analysis across diverse industries?
Very insightful question. Thank you. So mind is a very powerful tool. And in fields in which I teach, operation research, operations management, system analysis, guiding students to harness their cognitive skills is essential because the problems are very complex. So in my role as professor of operations management, I emphasize the importance of structured thinking, analytical rigor, creative problem solving, and taking a holistic view of the problem. So I encourage the students to approach the problems methodically, first by breaking down the complex issues into manageable components, and then apply quantitative models to find optimal solutions. So what I do in this process is that I always engage my students with hands-on learning so that they can apply the theoretical models to real-world situations. So I have courses like operation research modeling and supply chain analytics. I use case studies from industries like transportation, energy, and manufacturing, wherein students are tasked with solving problems that mirror the complexities in those industries. And by exposing them to those challenges, they learn to apply the theoretical concepts of operation research, optimization, data analytics, systems thinking across diverse sectors. Additionally, I also encourage them to use simulation and decision support tools, because this I see is that it's a huge benefit for the students. So, for example, in my project management and lean management courses, students work with simulation games like Fresh Connection, which simulate supply chain decisions, allowing them to see the immediate impact of their choices on the company's viability. Incidentally, of course, in this regard, I won the Global Educator Award last year in Netherlands for a sustainability simulation game competition. Around 190 participants from more than 45 companies and 35 universities worldwide battled for this title. So lastly, I also emphasize another issue, which is the mindset of continuous learning and curiosity. Because the industries that we prepare as students for, these are continuously evolving. And what we teach today has only a lifespan of a few years, maybe. So it's important that people, the students stay open to new methodologies and technologies, especially the new ones that are coming in like AI and machine learning, which are reshaping the entire landscape of operations and supply chain management.
Very well said. So problems come in everyone's life, but problem solving approach is, I think, extremely essential if you want to know how to go about it. So every challenge is an opportunity for growth. What has been one of the most significant challenges you faced in your career, and how did you turn it into an opportunity for growth and success?
So this reminds me, of a situation that happened when I was in the Indian Railways. I was responsible for overseeing the availability and reliability of one of the largest fleet of electric locomotives across the Indian Railways on a particular zone called the Southeastern Railway. So the Southeastern Railway is one that stretches from Kolkata to Nagpur and Kolkata to Visakhapatnam. So at that time, we were dealing with frequent breakdowns and inefficiencies in loco operations, which were negatively affecting both our punctuality and freight capacity. The Southeastern Railway is called as the blue chip railway of the blue chip railway because it's one of the highest shares of freight traffic. So the challenges were multifaceted. We had problems with locomotives, inefficiencies in the maintenance processes, and lack of real data on performance. I was then the deputy chief electrical engineer at the headquarters. So I had to find a way to improve the operational effectiveness of nearly 1,000 locomotives across multiple divisions. So I viewed it as an opportunity to implement systemic changes. So I introduced a data-driven approach to locomotive maintenance using real-time data and analytics to predict failures and optimize maintenance schedules. We also re-engineered the workflow at the repair facilities, which led to a significant reduction in downtime and improved the reliability. The results were remarkable. At the end of the year, our locomotive availability had improved by 11%, and the punctuality losses were down by 23%. So the Indian Railways recognized my efforts by awarding by me a medal. But beyond this, this experience was pivotal for my growth in real life. It taught me the importance of holistic approach to problem solving, where you must bring in together all the things, technical, operational, human factors, everything you have to bring them together to solve a problem. And also this strengthened my belief in the power of data and systems thinking. And this is what I carried forward in my academic career at IIM Calcutta, where I guide now my students in applying the same principles in diverse industries. So this has helped me later on in my other leadership roles, like I was the director of the Indian Railways Research, Design and Standards Organization. So and there I reinforced this lesson again and again. Another most significant challenge that occurred in my career, which I mentioned earlier, is during my time as a dean academic. It was at that particular time that the COVID struck. And we had to suddenly shift from face-to-face learning to online learning. And the time that was given to us was very short. It was hardly days. Within days, we had to do that. And so this was a challenge of unprecedented scale. So we had to shift our entire program, the MBA, executive education, to an entirely online format. So rather than seeing this as a overwhelming obstacle, I looked at it as an opportunity for changing the boundaries of digital transformation in education. So we implemented a comprehensive online teaching platform within weeks and incorporating interactive tools, online assessments, and digital collaboration platforms to keep the learning experience immersive and engaging for students. So this also helped us in another thing. It helped us in global collaboration. So with physical barriers removed, we could bring in international guests on our platforms, and this enriched the entire experience. So this has, these challenges, has taught me that every challenge comes with an opportunity to improvise, to learn, and to grow further.
100%, sir. I mean, without challenges, I don't think anyone would grow, and that you've said very well by your past experiences. Thank you for sharing that. Sir, how do you believe ESG frameworks and corporate governance principles have impacted sectors like transportation and public policy? And how essential do you see these skills for professionals like yourself who are managing large scale operations?
So ESG frameworks, these have become extremely critical in all sectors where scale of operations are vast, like in transportation. So we have to integrate these frameworks and transform our organizations so that we approach the entire aspect of decision making, operational efficiency, and stakeholder engagement in a better way, right? So in transportation, for example, which is has an enormous impact on sustainability issues, the environmental component of ESG is very important. So issues like reducing carbon emissions, optimizing energy usage, and promoting green logistics, these have moved to the forefront. From the governance perspective, again, corporate governance principles like transparency, accountability, ethical management, which are part of the ESG framework, are essential for maintaining public trust, especially when we have very large operations which impact the common man. So in my experience working with projects on Indian Railways, adhering to strong governance frameworks has been crucial to ensuring that we use public resources effectively and ethically. And we seem to be doing that. So I feel that these frameworks are very important to foster accountability and for not only for the public, for the environment, and it's non-negotiable. It's something which is non-negotiable, and I feel that we need the skills to ensure that the operations are sustainable in the long run.
Yeah. Lovely to hear that it's probably everyone who now thinks of it like that in terms of long run and sustainability, because we do realize that businesses won't go on forever if we just negate these things. So, effective solutions are born from understanding complex problems. During your time with the Indian Railways, can you share a case where your work in operations research solved a critical problem and the impact it had on operational efficiency?
Thank you so much for asking a question on an area which is very, very close to my heart. I'll walk you through a few of my important work that I've done over the years with Indian Railways, the US Railways, where I conducted research as a Fulbright Fellow at the University of Michigan, the Ministry of Energy, and the Indian elections. So I'll just walk you through four typical cases that I did. So the first study, which was actually my thesis, involved the optimal design of Indian Railway timetables under resource constraints. So, that in very large networks like that we have in Indian Railways, with very limited resources, such as trains, tracks, and staff, you need to meet the growing demand for reliable and efficient services. And that you can do it only by, adapting to more accurate mathematical models. And that's what I tried to do. I developed a mathematical model to generate feasible timetables that maximize the resource utilization while minimizing delays. So we did it using optimization techniques, and I also was happy to present it at the International Congress of the Railways in Paris. The second study was in the US railroads, wherein I was involved in optimizing the location of fueling trucks for diesel locomotives, because fueling costs are a significant portion of your overall operational costs. So the objective was to minimize the total fueling costs, including the fueling cost, the fuel cost, the setup cost, and the delivery via fuel trucks for a very large set of locomotives operating over a very large network. So we developed a few algorithms to optimize the selection of the fueling locations. The third study involved a train design optimization model to promote green freight transportation by facilitating a shift from road to rail, which is crucial to reducing not only the energy consumption, but also the greenhouse gas emissions. So this study addressed the challenge of handling less than unit train loads through aggregation of consignments. And this required optimization of train designs for high density freight traffic. So we used a genetic algorithm with a priority generator to develop this model. This model was tested on real life US data, US railroads data. The fourth study is totally different. It's not in the railways. It involved an optimal design of a barrage tidal power plant that I was doing for the Gujarat. So it involved designing an optimal operating schedule for sluice and Tyburn gates to maximize energy generation over a tidal cycle. And it considers various technical configurations involving turbines and sluices. And this was done for proposed tidal power plants in the Gulf of Kutch and the Gulf of Khambat in Gujarat. I also won the Union Ministry of Energy gold medal for this work at the 29th Indian Engineering Congress. My fifth and last study that I'll be sharing with you is the development of a mixed integer programming model to optimize the scheduling of India's general elections and the movement of central paramilitary forces across India. The model aimed to minimize the number of election stages while ensuring adequate deployment of security personnel and minimizing the total men miles traveled by the police between polling stations. So it incorporated logistical challenges, including sourcing personnel from different police bases and efficiently scheduling their movement across constituencies. So this was a very exciting study that I did. Besides these above, I published various case studies with Harvard Business School, examined issues of public procurement, large infrastructure project management, financing project management, financial analysis, and turnaround scenarios of large corporates. One of my textbooks on operation research is prescribed at many IITs and IIMs. I've been involved in recent years with working with MIT scientists in the area of cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. So these areas, it will take a lot of time to cover them, but my articles are out there in the public domain, for example, in the Forbes magazine website.
Wow. It's really amazing to see how much you've transformed so many things, especially Indian Railways. So, with your extensive contributions to operations management and public policy, are there any areas you're particularly passionate about advancing further? And what insights would you share with the next generation of leaders entering this field?
Thank you for the question. So, one area that I'm particularly passionate about today is advancing further this intersection of operation management, supply chain resilience, sustainability, and the new technologies like AI and machine learning coming to the front. Right? So in today's world, operations and supply chain face numerous challenges that go beyond efficiency and cost reduction. Just reading an article yesterday in the Harvard Business Review about supply chain now moving from the warehouses to the boardroom. It's now become a strategic consideration. So I feel that we need to, we need to focus our efforts in moving forward the entire area of supply chain. So supply chain and modeling and analytics are the areas that I am deeply involved in. I see tremendous potential for future growth and contribution to the area of supply chain. So we can use, for example, advanced analytics, data sciences, optimization techniques, AI, ML, to design supply chains that responds not only to current demands, but also anticipate future risks and opportunities. So this can, reduce emissions, for example, improve energy efficiencies, and contribute both for operational efficiency and sustainability goals. So this brings me to the next thing. I am also passionate about integrating sustainability into the core of operations, because I think that it's no longer enough to think that sustainability is an add-on. It must be central to how we think to design our systems, processes, and policies. So we must rethink our logistics to minimize environmental impacts, adopt circular economy practices, and utilize technologies like AI to predict and manage risks more effectively. So, with all this, I would, my advice to the next generation of leaders entering this field would be to cultivate a mindset of adaptability and continuous learning, because these areas are continuously evolving and very rapidly with advancements in technology, and staying current is essential. So you must embrace innovation while keeping an eye on the broader picture, and see how your decisions impact not just the business, not your business, but also the society and environment at large. So, if you look at it, it requires being a leader today in operations management is not only essential to be having the technical skills, but to have a very strong sense of responsibility towards creating a sustainable and resilient systems that serves the greater good of society.
So your passion for advancing operation management and public policy is truly recommendable. I'm certain that an advice such as this, sir, will undoubtedly resonate with the next generation of leaders. So now moving on to our last question for the day. Ever since you have been associated with Directors Institute, what key insights have you gained that you believe are critical for today's leaders?
Since my association with the Directors Institute, I have gained several key insights which I feel are essential for today's leaders. It has not only expanded my understanding of corporate governance, but also deepened my perspective of how effective boardroom leadership can drive long-term value creation for our stakeholders. So one of the most valuable lessons that I learned is the importance of strategic foresight. How directors must anticipate market shifts, regulatory changes, technological disruptions, all the while aligning their organizational strategic goals with long-term sustainability. So it has reinforced my belief that leadership today is much about looking ahead and preparing for change, as it is about measuring present-day challenges. Another critical insight that I've learned is the role of governance in fostering organizational resilience. So I now appreciate how strong corporate governance structures built on accountability, transparency, ethical decision-making, these are essential for navigating crises, ensuring organizational continuity, and earning the stakeholders' trust. So I think these are very vital in any large-scale operations. Also, I learned about the importance of risk management in the boardroom, the importance of evaluating both operational and reputational risks. And I think this is a very essential trait for leaders who are managing large-scale complex organizations. So, in summary, my association with the Director Institute has given me a richer understanding of the strategic governance, risk management, importance of forward-thinking leaderships, and I think these will be invaluable in shaping my approach to both corporate and academic leadership.
Well, Dr. Nag, I deeply appreciate your time and insights. Your remarkable expertise in both academia and the industry has provided valuable perspectives. I'm highly confident that your thoughtful advice and expertise will inspire many generations of leaders to come. Thank you so much once again, sir, for sharing your journey with us. We at Directors Institute wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you so much, Tanay, for your kind words and for having me on the FaceTime for Leaders. It has been truly an honor to share my journey and my insights with you and your listeners. I deeply appreciate the opportunity to reflect on these experiences that have shaped my career, and I hope these discussions will inspire the next generation of leaders to navigate their own paths with integrity and purpose. I'm grateful to Directors Institute for this platform and for the exceptional work that you're doing to cultivate leadership and governance excellence worldwide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to sharing more inspiring stories and insights from remarkable leaders in our next session. Until then, keep upskilling and finding joy in your journey. Thank you so much.